It doesn't start when you reach your goal. It starts when you decide to think like someone else. Most people wait for external proof before letting someone in before they give them permission. To be brave, move quickly, or take risks. But that's backwards. This is what you think about when you carry yourself like a successful person. You start getting the results you've been after before the money, title, or fame. Plan ahead, but don't be self-doubt driven if you want to make real changes. Do not wait until you are ready to act like the future version of yourself. Let reality catch up with you. I want to ask you an honest question. How many chances have you missed because you were too scared? Waiting for permission, but not ready or too busy. How many times has the affair of looking dumb or does failing in front of everyone burn away your confidence and rip your dreams apart? You know deep down that you're not stuck, because life isn't fair. Because you won't act like the person you want to be, you're stuck. But here's the powerful secret. You are missing the moment when you start acting like the future you. Brave, sure of yourself, and determined. This is the moment when your life will change faster than you ever thought possible. Will you hide behind excuses and self-doubt? Or are you brave enough to face this uncomfortable truth? Stay with me, because I'm going to show you how acting as if changes everything. Have you ever thought about how much time you waste waiting for confidence to appear out of nowhere before you do something brave? Like, I'll apply for that job when I'm more sure of myself, or I'll introduce myself. As soon as I stop feeling awkward, I'll tell you the harsh truth that no one likes to hear. It's not some mysterious gift that the universe drops all of a sudden. Confidence never comes from waiting. Right in your lap. Confidence really shows up once you start acting confidently like courage. It shows up just when you decide to face the things you're scared of. Not a second before the ancient Greeks, who knew this to be true more than 2,000 years ago. We live our lives based on our thoughts, which makes them simple, but strong, right? He wasn't telling us to wait until we feel strong. He was telling us that all of our strength lies in ourselves. In determining what we do and how we think right now. If you're waiting for permission or an inner feeling to finally tell you that you're good enough, you'll wait your whole life. And really, you deserve better than that. Carl Jung, a famous therapist, said, "You are what you do, not what you say you'll do." Take a moment to think about how many plans you've made that have stayed in your mind. While you were too tired to doubt yourself, we've all been there. But what if you stopped waiting and began to think, what if you chose right now to put yourself in their shoes? The best thing about becoming what you want to be is the moment you start acting. Your mind starts to believe it because you're sure of it. It's actually science. The self-perception theory is what psychologists call this phenomenon. Basically, your brain watches what you do and then says, "Oh, I guess I'm sure of myself after all." Try this out when you wake up tomorrow. Don't just roll out of bed and start another day. Take a moment to think. Picture the most sure of yourself, successful version of yourself. What does that person look like? What kind of energy do they give off when they walk into a room? How do they do that? Wear clothes that show how you feel, not just how you look. Breathe deeper. Talk more slowly. If your dreams were already real, you wouldn't be pretending. You'd just be bringing them to life. Your future self into the present, because this is really who you are on the inside of self-doubt and fear. And trust me, when those doubts creep back in, they will. Remember what Epiphany said. First, tell yourself what you would be. Then, do what you need to do. Don't let fear control your choices anymore. Catch yourself when you're about to shrink or hesitate, and then choose to do something else. If you want to raise your hand at a meeting, do it with confidence. When you're nervous, making eye contact or even something as simple as keeping your posture straight is a good idea. When you'd rather hide, every small act of courage changes you from the inside out. To be honest, confidence isn't a feeling, it's a thing you do. a muscle that you build by doing many brave things, no matter how small they appear. Every time you take a step forward when you'd rather take a step back, you strengthen your faith that you can handling whatever life throws at you. Your future self is ready. In order to feel powerful, they must first act bravely, and then confidence will follow. So today, flip the script and put courage before comfort. Make the choice to move before you're fully ready. Stop asking yourself, "Am I sure I can do this?" And start saying, "I'm doing this until I'm sure of it." It's time to make things happen in your life when you realize you're already worthy of everything you're going after. Have you ever caught yourself dozing off in vivid daydreams about the life you're going to live? Going live might make you sit at your desk at work and think about all the fun things you'll do. As soon as you get out of the 9-to-5 rouge, or maybe late at night, scrolling enough, it's easy to see a happier, more successful version of yourself on social media. It feels good to live freely and passionately, but there's a catch. Little danger hidden in those dreams. They feel so real and great that it's a blunt truth that you never actually do anything to make them happen. Your life will not magically change just because you dream about it. Dreams are beautiful, but they're just wishes if you don't act on them. The great Carl Jung said, "You are what you do, not what you say you'll do." This is a great idea. Think about it. How many plans, hopes, and goals do you have right now? You haven't touched anything yet because you're waiting for the perfect moment. Spoiler alert, that moment isn't coming. It won't happen next week or next year, but here's some good news. You don't need it to see what Stoic philosophers like Seneca told us. About wasting our prime time, he immediately said, "While we waste our time." Life is slipping away quickly because you keep putting it off and hesitating. Every day you wait to feel ready is a day you'll never get back. But think about how quickly things would change in your life if you stopped waiting and did something today. Not big, scary leaps, just steady, small steps. That might be waking up. As soon as possible to read 10 pages of a great book every night, or finally sign up for that class you keep looking at but never sign up for. Take small steps to build strong momentum. Before you know it, those little things you do every day turn into habits. Make the life you've always dreamed of. This is what psychologists call the compound effect. Every small action you intend to take today, no matter how hard it may feel, huge change over time. Think of it like planting seeds. You don't see much happening at first, just dirt and water, but you keep taking care of it. Believing that something under the surface is growing, you get to see the plant in the end. Your daily habits are just like that seed, and you need to break them. If you don't see results right away, trust that something powerful is at work. Marcus Aurelius said, "What you do today shapes the life you live tomorrow." Magnificently captures this idea that the universe is change. Our lives are shaped by the thoughts we have about them. Every moment you're alive is a chance to act rather than dreaming. Right now, your whole future depends on your choice. Either continue to dream or get started. Action changes. If you don't do anything to make your dreams come true, they will stay just that, dreams. So here's what you can do right now. Choose one small thing to do every day. In line with your plans for the future, just one thing. Do you want to get healthier? Promise to go for a 10-minute walk every day. No excuses. Dream of becoming an author. Write one paragraph every morning. If you want to have a thriving side hustle, set aside 20 minutes every day. Focusing on consistent daily action is a great way to learn about marketing or networking. You're telling the universe and yourself that you're serious about making your dreams come true. Seneca made it very clear. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's not that things are hard that we don't dare. It's that we don't dare. That they are hard. Stop making things more hard. Stop thinking too much. Do not believe in your mind that you need to know every step before you begin. Not only do you need to get going, but remember that life rewards action over hesitation. There is no magic morning when your dream life will appear out of nowhere. You have to work for it. Decision by decision, day by day. Dreams are great places to begin, but they're not goals. They're just sparks waiting for you to light them on fire. Let go of your hopes for how great your life could be and start making it better today. When you stop putting things off and start doing them, the future becomes the present. I promise you it will feel better than any dream. Have you ever felt like you were just acting like someone you didn't like? What if you walked into a room full of people you didn't know? And put on this confident face, smile big and act friendly, even if you're feeling really sad inside. You're really scared. We've all been there, and here's what no one tells you. It's called adapting or growing, and everyone does it to some degree. But somewhere along the way, society made us believe that pretending to be confident or charming was okay. That means we're liking, and that's not at all what you see pretending to do. It's not about lying to yourself. It's about becoming the person you really want to be. Carl Jung said something really true about this. He said that people will have the chance of a lifetime. Notice something important. Jung didn't say you were born exactly that way. For you to become what you want to be, you have to become it first. And becoming always starts with pretending, playing and experimenting, as if you already have the skills you're seeking. It's not a lie. It's practice. The Stoics knew this very well. Epictetus told his students, if you want to get better, be content. People thought they were stupid and foolish because change feels weird at first. It's time to leave your comfort zone and try new things. Your new behaviors are like a jacket that doesn't quite fit yet, but the more you wear it, the more natural and comfortable it gets until it's no longer a costume, it's just who you are. Think about how you learned a new skill, language, or sport. A musical instrument you messed up and felt stupid about, but if you keep acting like you can do it, you will be able to. Confidence works. There is a term for this in the field of psychology. It's called behavioral activation. It's a fancy word for what it means. Your actions shape how you feel. Do something enough times even if you don't feel like it, and your mind will soon believe it. That's who you really are. Be sure of yourself, and guess what? Over time, you feel really confident, you act friendly and open, and over time, you find soundness. When you're in a social setting, your brain literally resets itself with every action you take on purpose. You can use its powerful tools, but only if you stick with it. In your daily life, here's how to make it work the next time you're about to go through something where you're not sure. Like when you have a big presentation at work, or an important date, or even a casual get-together with no one you know, stop and make a choice. In order to show up the way you want to, tell yourself, right now, I'm choosing to be confident. Being friendly and interesting. Stand by that standard, even if it's hard at first. Stand up straight, smile warmly, make steady eye contact, and take a bold first step. Also, make sure you ask real questions. Don't see this as acting. See it as practice. Your body and mind are being trained to accept a new identity, your ideal identity. Another way to say this is that Marcus Aurelius said the mind changes and adapts to its own needs. What stops us from acting, or in other words, your mind is very flexible. If you show it the picture of the person you want to be, it will learn and change. Updating your software is a good way to think about it until your new identity sticks. Your current habits and thoughts are just old programs that keep running on their own. However, you can always install a newer version by consistently acting in a different way. And yes, it does feel weird, uncomfortable, or even fake at first, but guess what? The point at which you feel uncomfortable is when you're leaving the familiar. That will change you, for the better discomfort is just a sign that you're growing. Socrates taught us to welcome discomfort and see it as a guide instead of something to avoid. Seneca said that we suffer more in our thoughts than in real life. It's more likely that your fear of looking silly or fake is worse than anything that will actually happen. Not nearly as much attention is being paid as you think. Most people are too busy worrying about how they will judge you, so here's what you do today. Accept that you are going to feel awkward and believe that pretending to be someone else is just a powerful practice. For the real you, do something small every day that pushes your comfort zone. Start a conversation, give your opinion, and be clear about what you want. In a direct way, these wrongdoings become second nature over time. And before you know it, you're not pretending anymore, you're just being. Do what you need to do with confidence until it's no longer a thing you do. Smile big until you feel joy from the inside out and speak kindly. Jung told us, "I am not what happened to me until compassion becomes automatic. I am what I choose to be." You have the power to choose right now. Make the most of the power you have today. Don't waste it. Remember that this isn't about fake it until you make it. It's about being brave. Until you're naturally brave, it's about living with confidence until your confidence tells others who you are. Start today and become the person you've been waiting for. As soon as you start doing it, you become it. I have a question for you. How many times have you talked yourself out of doing something not because you thought it was impossible, but you waited too long? It could have been a job chance or a new idea you wanted to talk to someone or knew you needed to start a simple habit. You got a feeling that the move was right, but you didn't make it yet. Once that brief pause was over, the moment moved on. It cost you something. It always does. Momentum, confidence, chance. Most people fail not because they don't have the potential to do well, but because they can't make up their minds quickly enough. If you want to know the truth, here it is. Decision is the silent killer of progress. You feel safe like you're just waiting to see what the pros and cons are. But in reality, it's fear dressed up as logic. Carl Jung once said, "In all chaos, there is fear. There is a secret order in the cosmos that makes everything else make sense. Every moment of hesitation has a hidden truth. You're not weird. You're afraid you can't live if you're afraid of being wrong, failing, or being judged. A unique life by trying to avoid all risk, as the Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote. Things are not impossible because we don't dare, but because we don't dare that they are impossible." Again, reading that won't make the fear go away and won't make the path clearer. The longer you think about it, the clearer it becomes. Clarity comes from movement, not stillness. We value decisiveness because it makes us feel powerful. You can tell when someone speaks with conviction or does something risky without guessing every step. That kind of presence leadership is magnetic. And the good news is that it can be learned. Being decisive is not a personality trait that you either have or don't have. It's a habit. After making this choice a few times, it will become your default setting. Start small. Choose your lunch without giving it much thought. Pick up a book and read it all the way through when someone asks you what you think. Talk about what you really think these might sound like. Don't dance around it. I know these are silly examples, but they're mental reps that help you build muscle. You make decisions, and every time you make a small, easy choice, your brain learns to trust itself more. Trusting yourself is the first step to real confidence. The Stoics had a great way of saying this. When asked about this, Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If something isn't true, don't say it." It's that simple. The Stoic way wasn't about thinking about things over and over. It was about living honestly. Living by strong principles makes it easier to make decisions and act with purpose. When you know what you stand for, you don't need 100 mental gymnastics to make your next move. Either it's aligned or it's not, and when it is, you move one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves, that we need more time to think. But most of the time, it's not getting clearer. It's getting more cloudy the longer you wait. The more fear you feel, the more crazy scenarios you start to think of. What used to be a simple choice now seems like a mountain of anxiety. If you know what this is called in psychology, it's called analysis paralysis. The brain really does cut off circuits when it has too much information. And perfectionism is just fear in a nice outfit when it comes to fashion. The answer is done is better than perfect. We are making progress, which is better than perfection. It doesn't matter if you make a mistake, you just need to make a move, right? You've been thinking about that project a lot lately, and you keep putting off that conversation. You've been putting off making that big change in your life because you're waiting for the right time. Take a deep breath and remember that there is no such thing as the perfect time. And every time you do something brave, it's always now that builds your future. You tell your brain, I trust myself, and the more you trust yourself, the better. The less you think about it, the better. This isn't about rushing through life or making bad decisions. It's about being deliberate and having a drive to act. You don't have to know everything before you start. You just need to be clear enough. Jung said that people who look outside of dreams are ready to take the next step. When you know what you value and what you want to build, who looks inside wakes up. It stops being a matter of guesswork and becomes a matter of alignment. It becomes a matter of honesty. So here's what you should do. Start being decisive every day. Take the time to build your identity. Don't wait for permission or certainty. Both of these ideas are false. Trust that you can figure things out as you go. Act, adjust, and repeat. That's what every successful person has done. Action is ease. Action is strength. And action is all there is that changes you from the person you are now to the person you want to be. Don't wait any longer. Don't write your life story yet. You need more courage, not more time. Choose to live your life with confidence and let every choice you make guide you. Say something like, I'm not here to wait, I'm here to lead. Let's face it, life doesn't pick you up and throw you around. It hits you hard and doesn't always give you time. To be honest, 1 minute you're going well, and the next you're dealing with rejection. If you have a heart attack or a curveball that you didn't see coming, it's very painful. It's easy to wonder, why is this happening to me? But here's a question that gets to the heart of it. What if the way you're reacting is the real problem? You can't always train what you do. No matter what happens, you have full control over how you react and what comes out of that reaction. You were born with that kind of strength. Most people think that strength of will is like a superpower. Set apart for the strong, the tough, and the naturally optimistic. But that's a lie. It's not something you're born with. You have to work at being resilient. Often you build it by acting like you can't be shaken before you really can. You become stronger even when you're shaking. You stay calm even when you're screaming inside. That's not pretending. That's training. The Stoics got good at this way of thinking. They thought that hardship wasn't something to avoid, but rather a place where greatness could be made. Marcus Aurelius put it simply, what stops action moves action forward. That quote, what stands in the way becomes the way, isn't just beautiful language. It works no matter what problem you're having or what pain or chaos has come up in your life. You can either crawl under it or use it to help you concentrate. More disciplined and emotionally strong, Carl Jung echoed. The same thing was true when he said, I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. So when life knocks you down, remember that your mistakes don't make you who you are. How you react to them does. You can either shrink and spiral or rise and evolve. When you rise, you don't always have to jump up all at once. Sometimes you just have to refuse to. Stay down. Most people won't tell you this. Being strong has not always looked strong. It's like getting out of bed when you don't want to. Other times, it's making that email. Even when you feel like a failure. It's just your choice today not to give up. Sometimes you have to make a small, quiet choice to keep going. Those are the times you're at your strongest. That's you building mental strength. That's you becoming unbreakable bit by bit. Don't forget about the mental stress that comes with setbacks. You know the voice I'm talking about. If someone tells you that you're not good enough, you should not have tried this in the first place. That voice isn't telling the truth, it's just your brain trying to keep you from feeling more pain by making you feel better. But growth doesn't live in comfort. It lives in that an uncomfortable place where you fall, rise, and repeat. In your mind. This is called cognitive reappraisal, which is a fancy word for changing how you think about problems. Instead of seeing a failure as proof that you can't do something, see it as proof that you can. That you're going through a change because honestly, struggling is a sign that when people are comfortable, they don't struggle. They stay put. If it hurts, stop what you're doing. It probably means you're going in the right direction. Here's a strong move you can use right away. When you get a setback, ask yourself, what is this here to teach me? Not why, me. Try me. That small switch changes everything. It puts you back in charge and reminds you that life is meant to be enjoyed, no matter how crazy it gets. When you face a challenge, remember that you are not a victim. You are a sculptor. That's the child, and how you react to it. And let's be honest, persistence is key. It's not flashy or glamorous, but the person is always there for you. Who keeps coming back, pushing forward, and believing even when everything seems to be going wrong? Someone says quit, that's the unstoppable person, not because life got easier. What does unshakable look like for you today? Is it because they got stronger? It might be choosing not to complain, or it might be sticking to your plan even when you don't want to. Maybe it's letting go of things you can't change and putting all your energy into things you can. Each of those things you did is a brick in the wall of your resilience. Let's be honest, most people don't know how powerful their words are. Your life is shaped by what you say out loud and how you talk to yourself in your head. More than you think. And I'm not just talking about the long talks or positive positions in the mirror. I'm talking about the casual things that the throwaway says. The silence in a monologue that you don't think anyone hears because, well, guess what? It's there. And your subconscious is always listening to everything you say. I don't think I'm good at this. I'm likely to fail. Or I'm not that kind of person. You're writing a story, and your brain starts to work on it more and more as you do it. To believe it as fact, that's not just a feel-good fantasy. It's based on what the brain knows. This is known as self-fulfilling prophecy, and it affects your expectations. Your actions lead to the exact result you expected. Tell yourself you're going to mess up. You'll probably act in a way that makes sure you do what you say you're going to do and win. It's a loop, as Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious. It will decide what happens in your life, and you'll call it fate. Your words start to make the unconscious conscious. They bring what's hidden to the surface. Where it can either get better or worse if you always speak from fear, what you realize is scarcity or limitation, but the shift begins when you speak from belief, vision, and intent. The Stoics knew about this power too. Epictetus taught that people are upset, not by things, but by how they see them. Your words show how you see things. They're your inner story broadcast out loud, and they're the best part. If you pay attention to what you're actually saying, you can change the story at any point. Not only to other people, but also to yourself. Start noticing the language. Do you say, I hope it works out, or I use around your goals? I'm putting this together and making it work. Do you think I'll try, or do you think I'll do that? Shift might sound like a small thing, but it changes the way you do everything. When you walk into a room, how you deal with setbacks and how you see success and failure are all changed. You are no longer waiting. You are now announcing that you are taking ownership. Do not misunderstand. This is not about pretending everything is okay or making up confidence. You can choose the language that goes with who you're becoming, not who you were. When you speak with intention, picture your words as seeds. It looks like you're planning to plant something in your future speech, which makes you hesitate. It's true that if you believe, you will gain momentum. Here's a challenge for you. Affirmations that work. Say 3 powerful affirmations out loud first thing in the morning. However, statements that show what kind of person you're becoming. Even when I'm not sure, I show up with confidence. Every day, I make progress. No matter how small, I'm turning into the type of person who finishes what they start. Don't be afraid to say what you mean. Feel the truth behind them, even if it's hard at first. No matter what, do it. You're not performing, you're programming. And if you mess up, we all do. So watch your language there too, instead of saying, "I'm such a fool." Saying, "I learned something," or "I'll do it better next time," is not denial. It's direction. You've chosen to think about growth instead of shame. The Stoics were big on this way of thinking. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not over outside events." When you understand this, you will find strength. Your words are the tools you use. No need to rule the world to shape your mind. Just rule your thoughts. Your story about the world can change everything, so don't forget about it. How what you say can change other people. When you speak from belief, you ensure they do the same. When your energy is shared, you cause a ripple effect that you may not even be aware of. People will remember your words for a long time if they help them get out of their own doubts. The most important thing is not what you own, but how you talk. From now on, that's what I'll do. Choose your words carefully and speak life with intent. If you want to get things done, you need to speak power, vision, and strength into your path. Say words of love, faith, and strength over every part of your life. And watch the universe change. Start matching your energy. Whether you know it or not, you are in charge of your reality. So write something worth living and speak it until you live it. Then do it so strongly that people can feel it when you walk in the room. Have you ever noticed how just being around some people can change your whole mood? It seems like you leave a conversation with some people feeling inspired and with a clear head. Ready to do anything, but then there are others you want to spend 10 minutes with, then all of a sudden you're questioning yourself, questioning your decisions, or just feeling drained. That's not an accident. It's energy transfer, and you know it or not. The people you spend the most time with shape your thoughts, habits, and, in the end, your future. A saying that has been around for a long time says, "You become the average of the 5 people you meet." You spend the most time with. That may sound a little tragic, but it comes from something real psychologists call social confinement. Thoughts, feelings, and even beliefs can spread from one person to another, should be like a virus. So if you're always surrounding people who are bad, if you're scared or stuck in a bad mood, you'll take that in. That energy still pulls on you even if you're the most positive, growth-driven person in the room. If you try to swim upstream with an anchor on your ankle, as the Stoic philosopher Epictetus put it, you'll fail. The important thing is to only hang out with people who lift you up and bring out your best. That is old wise that still hits home, since the people around you do not make you feel stronger, clearer, or more capable. It may be time to think again. Who is sitting at your table? This is not about getting people off the ice or loss of heart. It's about protecting your surroundings and your reason for being. You have a vision and goals. Needs to support that and not work against it. Carl Jung once said that the contact of 2 people, is like the contact of 2 chemicals if there is any reaction. Both have been changed, which means that all relationships have been changed. What's going on in your life is either helping you grow or holding you back. So ask yourself, who pushes me to rise? Who sees the version of me that I see in the mirror? It's just as important for me to know who I am when I'm with certain people, because what matters isn't always what they do, but who you become when you're with them. That's when things start to get interesting, when you start to act like you're already successful. You naturally start to attract people when you are already driven, focused, and full of purpose. Who are on the same volume? It's not magic, it's alignment. A lot of people can feel your energy, clarity, and momentum, and they either rise or fall. to match it or they'll fall away. That's not rejection, that's improvement. Making room in your life for what's meant to help you grow is your job, but you have to choose to do it. No matter what, you have to pick your circle. It doesn't just happen. You can't skip something this important. To give yourself a chance, start looking for people who inspire you. Leaders who push you to think in a good way belong in groups that breathe possibility and drive real talks with people who won't let you play small and don't forget. The Stoics also believed that being close to greatness makes you more likely to become great. In the idea of empathy, there is a deep connection with other people, but they weren't saying that. When you're around those people, you need to be able to blend in with them, who live by principles, train their minds, and strive for excellence instead of praise. But because of who they are, when you connect with people like that, you don't just grow, you evolve. Also, don't forget that this isn't just about getting energy, it's also about giving it. To be the person who helps others, you need to have a vision. If you forget, speak life, speak truth, share knowledge. To push your people forward, remember that growth isn't a race, it's a team effort. And when people in your inner circle share values and are responsible to each other, you all go up faster and higher together. Now it's your turn. Check your circle and be brutally honest. Who adds fuel to your fire and who puts water on it? Don't wait. In order to find the right people, you have to become the right kind of person. Makes other people want to join in. That's how you make a circle that's not just people. When you build one with real momentum and a clear purpose, you protect the environment. Energy is dangerous because it can make you feel like your life depends on it. Be with people who make you think about where you're going, not where you've been. It's people who have a vision and don't just talk trash. It's people who want more, just like you. Because you get better when your circle gets better and better when you get better. Things start to change in your life. Let's face it, change is hard. It throws you off rhythm and messes up your plans. It makes you give up what makes you feel safe, but change is the only thing that stays the same. Life will change. Circumstances will arise. That's the one thing you can be sure of. People will leave, chances will change, and there's no telling when it will happen. Most people don't like change, and this is how you're going to deal with it when it happens. Because it makes them feel less in control, we stick to routines and habits, and places we're used to because they make us feel safe when we're not. There is a catch, though. The more you try to control everything, the more easily you break. For when things change, being able to adapt makes you stronger. It always hits, and being able to adapt is what sets the ones who scramble apart. The Stoics knew this very well, and from the ones who rise wrote it. Always remember that everything happens by chance and get used to it. Think about the fact that the universe loves nothing more than to change the way things are. Nature is built to evolve, and so are things that are like them. So are you still against that? That would be like trying to stop the ocean with your hands. Instead of getting smashed by the waves, you should learn how to surf them. Almost the same thought when he said what you resist persists. The anger you feel when you fight change doesn't stop it, it just drains your energy. Because of adaptability, it puts you on defense when you should be on offense. Is not about passively taking in whatever comes your way. It's about adjusting, changing your vision of the path forward, and remaining firm on your purpose. Think about it. Every success story you look up to is really just one person who learned to adapt. It wasn't a slide. It was made by messing up growth and setbacks, teach and unteach those who win in the long run. Are the ones who know how to pivot when one door shuts and not lose momentum. They don't work on it for months. Instead, they find or build another door. This is real power, and it's called strategic flexibility in psychology. It's called psychological flexibility, and it means being able to stay open and present, and willing to change how they behave when they need to, as studies have shown. The truth is that people who are psychologically flexible are not only more successful but also happier, stronger, and better able to deal with stress. Instant GPS that recalculates every time the route changes is like that. Then you don't throw away the car. You just find a different way to get where you need to go. So how do you make your everyday life more adaptable? Well, it all starts with how you think. Don't ask why this is happening to me. Instead ask, how is this changing me? That change in how you think puts you right away in a place of growth instead of victimhood. Next, be flexible with the little things and break your routine once a week. Try new ways to solve old problems and say yes to something that scares you a little. Your brain learns to be more at ease with the unknown through these small adjustments. This is what the Stoics would call imagination, or premeditatio malorum. Possible future difficulties, not to stress over them, but to get your mind ready for them. And emotionally, it's not pessimism. It's getting ready for change and challenge by expecting them. You loosen their impact and meet them with peace, not fear. And here's the catch. Being adaptable doesn't mean you're shaky or inconsistent. Quite the opposite. It means you're dedicated to your goal, but open to different ways of achieving it. You don't give up on your goal, you just change your game plan. That's how winners think. Because the truth is that the person who changes the most quickly wins, not the smartest. Not the strongest, but the most useful. When you wake up late, it seems like everyone is trying to test your patience. Your coffee traffic is a mess, and your inbox looks like it got bigger. It's almost funny how quickly things can go wrong at those times. Let's be honest. Staying positive doesn't really feel natural. When life feels like it's hitting you in every direction, positivity can seem fake, even naive, but here's the twist. That's when it works best. A lot of people think that being positive means acting like everything is fine or walking around with a fake smile on your face. Nope. Real positivity goes a lot deeper than that. It's not about ignoring problems. You choose not to be ruled by them. That's the mindset that says, I'm choosing to pay attention to what I can manage, and I'm going to make the most of this no matter what. And the Stoics were great at this choice, that strength. Aurelius wrote that the universe changes everything, and that our thoughts make our lives what they are. When he wasn't living in a peaceful bubble, he was dealing with war betrayal plagues. Even so, he chose to stay grounded and think about his response. What you see is not deluxe. What you see is discipline. It's called mindset mastery, and anyone can learn it. Carl Jung went even further when he said that even a happy life needs rules of darkness, and the word happy would not mean what it does without sadness on the other side. In other words, you shouldn't always feel good. That's not the point. It's important to choose your outlook, even when things aren't going well. That's what makes your joy strong. Your optimism is a sign that your brain is wired to see the truth. One way to look for problems is to use the negativity bias, which is a survival mechanism that helped people in the past were aware of danger. But in today's world, that just makes you stressed. You'll find yourself cynical or paralyzed if you're not careful, going day after day with that negativity until it feels like normal. That's why choosing to be positive has to be a choice, not something you do because you feel like it. What you say you'll do. So how do you really build that kind of mind muscle? Start by taking charge of your inner dialogue. Pay attention to the words you use. How do you say this when things go wrong? Do you say this happens to me all the time? I'll figure out that shift does matter. It changes your mind. It trains your mind to concentrate and reminds you that setbacks are just moments, not definitions of another way to show gratitude. Even if you don't feel like it, and I don't mean in a forced way, I mean with real gratitude. When you take a moment to look around and notice what's working, take a deep breath and remind yourself that you've made it through all of your worst days so far. That's not small, that's your base. The Stoics called this kind of behavior without wanting to. They would imaginarily lose the things they cared about. Not to be mean, but to make them appreciate him more, Epictetus said, he is a wise man, who doesn't lament the things they don't have, but is happy about the things they do have. That is timeless wisdom. And it's incredibly grounding in real life, because once you start seeing the blessings in the present moment, changes your energy. And once it changes again. What you do next is another truth. Positivity is harmful. Have you ever been around someone who always makes you feel good even when things aren't going well? You feel better, and you remember that happiness doesn't have to be loud or flashy. It's okay to be calm, steady, and strong. You don't have to be over the top. Be steady and clear. That's the kind of presence people should remember, that this is the mindset that makes things easier, especially when things get really tough. When it seems like everything is falling apart, positivity is what keeps you going. You know you're not done yet, because it reminds you that problems don't last forever. But facing them gives you strength. It's not about dying to the pain. You decide that the pain will not define you from now on. Because it is safe, take care of your mindset like your most valuable asset. Pick thoughts that strengthen you instead of ones that break you. Say words that encourage you instead of ones that drain you, and surround yourself with positive people. With energy that lifts, not limits, because being positive isn't a cute thing. A little extra to success. It's the base, the armor, and the fuel. The future you keep picturing doesn't come to you on its own. You've been waiting for it for too long. You build it by what you do right now, not tomorrow or when it's easy. But now, the Stoics think that we only really own the present moment. It was Marcus Aurelius who told you that you could end your life right now. Let that guide your choices. Talk and think about this. This isn't about working harder or trying to be perfect. Because it's about living freely, Carl Jung reminded us that the biggest burden, the unlived life of the parent, is something that a child must bear. Don't let your unlived life pass you by. To the next version of you, don't let doubt stop you from seeing your purpose. Like the person you were called to become, everything you do, everything you say, every thought you let into your life shapes your legacy. So stop waiting for the perfect time. Start living your life like it matters, because it does. Thank you for being a part of it. Of the Deep Stoic. Now live your life as if the future is already yours.